Thais Pop. Well, it's around 12 a.m. Damn it, it got pretty late because of the last mission. But anyway, it was not that difficult. Did they really thought killing the Mafia King will be that easy? He smirked, thinking how miserable his enemy were in front of him. He's think he's the king of underworld for a reason. He stepped inside the room to be greeted by your sleeping figure. A chuckle left from his mouth after he saw your fragile body covered under the blanket and only your head was poking out, making you look like a snowball. Maybe it was needed after such a tiring day. His smile faded after he remembered what happened in the morning. Ty was coming down to leave you for his office when his eyes went to you, who was trying to organize his paper, which was scattered on the table. Wyan, he yelled, not so loud but enough for you to make you flinch. You looked at his direction, being all confused. His glare made you look down as he came near you. He took the paper from your hand. How many times do I have to tell you not to do anything for me? I told you, didn't I? Then why? He asked in a little strict way. I was just trying to help, nothing else. He sighed and said something which broke your heart into a million pieces. You very well know what this marriage is for me. It was nothing but a forced marriage to me. You looked at him and nodded while biting your lips to stop yourself from making any sad face, as you were clearly hurt by his word at that time. Back to present. He sighed thinking that and left the washroom to get himself changed into comfortable clothes after taking a shower before joining you in bed to sleep. Later that night, you woke up feeling someone else by your side and immediately looked to other side and found him sleeping peacefully. You relaxed yourself as before you were worried that why didn't he came home. You were waiting for him only when you fell asleep. I'm happy you came back home safe. I was so worried. You cut his hair and then got down of bed and then went to the washroom. You came back from washroom being all scared after you were done and you were washing your hand. Your eye caught his shirt in corner but it was covered with all blood. Did he got injured that badly? You gulped thinking that and immediately took out the first aid box to treat him. You know that no matter how injured he is, he will not go to hospital until the situation is very bad. He just hated all the treatment and other formalities, and often he would just call the doctor to his mansion. But this time, you weren't sure if he really got treated by a doctor or not. He took the first aid and the telephone diary to call the doctor if the injuries will be deep. He sat on the side of the bed and slowly removed the blanket from his body. He doesn't seem like hurt, but still I need to check for confirmation. You gulp and just pray that he doesn't wake up while you were unbuttoning his shirt. Your hand shivered while unbuttoning his shirt, but you kept on doing it silently. Your cheeks grew heated up seeing him shirtless for the first time. You shook your head as no and checked to see if his torso was fine. Then you shirt in a little corner, but then your heart stopped. There was something tattooed on his chest, Kim Wyan. Your eyes got stuck on the tattoo and your breath got hitched. You were not able to believe your own eyes. You slightly touched it, making you gasp. In shock, you stood up from bed, but because of all that, the telephone diary and first aid kit on your lap fell down on the floor, creating loud noise, and Ty woke up after being exhausted from work, slowly opened his eyes and scanned the room to see your shocked figure and eye stuck somewhere. What is happening? Why are you? He got cut after you indicated him to look toward his tattooed chest. His eye widened as he immediately covered his chest and buttoned up his shirt and looked at you. But before he could say anything, you gave explanation. I wasn't doing anything wrong. I saw the shirt covered with blood all over and I got scared that you got hurt and I just came to treat you. He mentally slapped himself that he left the shirt there because he was too tired at that moment and now you saw his tattoo. Didn't you always tell me you're tired of this forced marriage and you don't love me? Then what is this? Why you have my name? He looked away from you and then sighed before answering. It's nothing like that, what you're thinking. I was just trying to actually get something else tattooed, but that foolish artist accidentally did this. He said as he was trying to come up with an excuse, but his eyes widened at your words. Then you were trying to get someone else's name there. He looked at you to see you were on the verge of crying. He just looked down, not knowing what to say. You tried to run away from there, but he held your arm. Why, we will talk about this tomorrow. Let's just sleep for now. Nothing is left to talk about. I'm leaving now to my uncle's house. I shouldn't have come here for the first time only. And this marriage, your words hurted him like anything, but he still controlled himself. It's not like that, he said. Then what is it like? I leave now only. Leave your mansion and everything. And for whom? For that uncle of yours who is nothing but the lost, selfish human in the world who tried to sold you to me? He said that in anger after you said you'll leave him. But afterward he realized he messed up. After seeing your shocked face and a tear escaped from your eyes, he immediately tried to embrace you, but you stopped him and asked, what did he said? Was it truth? Do you even have an idea what you're saying? Come here. You didn't move, but he dragged you and made you sit on bed. Why? I just said that in anger. I'm sorry. No, you're lying. You're shuddering. I know you're lying. This tattoo and what you said, You got cut when he said, maybe I should have told you the truth before. The tattoo is of your name. Because I do have feeling for you. Your uncle, whom you treated as father, and his love and care, everything was just fake. And he was taking care of you since you were 10 after your parents died, with only one intention, to get your property, which he could only get after you turned 20, but you signed away the property to the orphanage, and he was furious of that. He not only worked in Kim industry, but also in my underworld. There are 5 employees who do both of my work. He was furious and wanted to earn back those $10 million property, and he came to me to sell you as my. Your breath got heavy, but he didn't know that 10 months before I saw you in the house and fell for you. After I looked at you for the first time, I ignored it, but later I started noticing you everywhere. I saw you eating alone at restaurant while being lost in book you would be holding in your hands, playing in park. I didn't realize when I fell for you. When your uncle came and told me everything, I boiled in anger, but I knew if I say no, he'll try to sell you to another mafia. You don't know, but your uncle was also from mafia world. And just like me in front of everyone, he worked in a normal job, but we are different from just an employee and CEO. You were kind and innocent and moreover my reason to live. So I got this marriage on gunpoint to give your uncle a clean chit in front of your eyes. I made it look like he worked under my father and my father selected you for me. But he never worked under my father. He always worked under me. It was nothing but an arranged marriage. I was cold toward you because I never wanted you to get to know about your uncle whom you treated as father. I saw you cooking for him and waiting late night for him. If from starting I would be lovely toward you, then he could be suspicious that how your uncle arranged your marriage with Mafia King. So my father asked for your hand for me. With this, your uncle being a mafia agent came out and I was taking this marriage slow. I love you from the whole heart, but for you I was stranger, nothing else, right? I never lied to you about myself, me being mafia and CEO of Kim Industry, but I was afraid to tell you anything about your uncle. I know what he did is unforgivable, but I was not strong enough to tell you this. I'm sorry. I'm ashamed of myself for hiding the truth, but it was just to protect you. Your entire world would have been shattered. He looked at you to see you were silently crying. He immediately embraced you, seeing your broken condition. No, Ian, don't cry. Don't cry for them. You didn't said anything but hugged him tightly and started crying hard on his chest. He tightened his grip on you to calm you down, but he knew it would just not work right now. Time skip after 30 minutes. The eye didn't move even an inch after he saw you sleeping because of crying so much. I should have controlled myself in anger. I shouldn't have spilled that. He sighed and leaned against the headboard, but didn't move too much. Time skipped the morning. Tai came running to bedroom after he heard the loud noise. I heard noise. Are you okay? He saw you were looking at the broken phone as soon as he came. You came into his arm. You broke your phone? Why? It has many unlimited memories which are nothing but fake. It was just a trash, you said as he wiped your tears and said, what is done cannot be changed. Let's focus on future. For a few days you were silent and were not talking much. All these days Tai stayed at home in fear. What if you did something to yourself and took care of you and feeded you as you weren't eating properly? Time skip after 1 month. Tai and you both grew closer to each other and shared a comfortable relation and little skinship. You also showed him a little naughty nature and threw tantrum toward him after he came late or not pick your call. He was making his tie while eyeing your sleeping figure since you slept late at night because you were watching some anime. Let's have some fun in morning before leaving, he thought. He made a cold face as if he was angry at something and started patting your shoulder to wake you up and said in his cold voice, make my tie, I'm getting late. Fast. You took his tie in your hand and stood in front of him, started making his tie. He chuckled when he felt you stopped moving and saw you were leaning against him and sleeping while pouting. Fake cuff. You immediately stood up and said, I'm not sleeping, I'm making it wait. You said as you started your work again. He chuckled and let you do your work. Done, now I'm going back to sleep. You said as you were about to move, but he held you and pulled you toward him and making you shocked. Then he pecked your lips. Now I hope my wife's sleep is gone, isn't it? Or should I do more? You rushed out of there, the washroom being all red, and you heard him laughing at your reaction. I will definitely take my revenge, Mr. Kim. Time skipped to evening. Tai came home being tired, and first thing he did was to get rid of his tie and unbutton his first two buttons. He smiled after he saw the cup of tea on nightstand, as he knew Wine would have kept it there when she would have heard the car horn. Well, she was still busy in kitchen though. I really needed this. He took the cup and took one sip and almost choked on it. Did you accidentally put salt instead of sugar? Not accidentally, but intentionally, he said as you came inside laughing as you were peeking through the kitchen. You like my revenge, Mr. Kim? How does it taste? He bit his lip seeing your cunning behavior and kept his cup on nightstand. So it was all acting that you were working in kitchen today, huh? I can I can be a good actress, right? You caressed his hair and said, be careful from next time. I'm after all mafia king's wife. You said as he chuckled and nodded, but you gasped after he pulled you on his lap. Yeah, what are you doing? Since my princess ruined my taste, then now she have to make it up for me. No use, kitten, he said. Moreover, you were telling about being a good actress, then I should teach my dear wife some good romantic scene as well, right? Since she might not have that much experience. He smirked, seeing your red face. I was just joking. You must be tired. Let's have meal. I'm not that tired, and beside that, I'm not choking at all. You peck your lips before making you lay on bed and